Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Ladies Fest. So today in the studios we have myself and Amanda, and we're going to be doing something a little bit big sisterly. Yeah?
We're going to be talking about bleeding from our vaginas.
So we actually have prepared a list of questions that we've collated from Instagram and YouTube. You guys have been asking us on every other platform, and we're going to be answering them right now.
Why do periods happen and why do we have them? Maybe let's just address what a period actually is. So a period is actually a point of time in a woman's menstrual cycle where they start to bleed from their vaginas for about like a few days to about a week or slightly more. Some experience like 10 days.
Which is completely normal. It's just your body releasing the eggs that you don't actually successfully fertilize.
Yes.
And it's just your body's way of naturally breeding them. But basically, it's just the cycle of life. Everyone goes through it. Everyone should go through it. It's basically a sign of you becoming a full-grown woman.
How do you feel during your period?
I think the days leading up to your period, you already start to feel a certain way because
Like
your
the
body,
soreness
correct,
and-
your body is already going through the changes that's like kind of awaiting for your period to start. Typically, this is what we call premenstrual symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Correct.
And that's when I start feeling all sorts of
Tired.
annoyed, tired, hungry, frustrated.
And then your skin, for some people like myself, my skin gets worse.
Oh, it starts to
during
act
my
up.
period. And on top of that, do you experience the whole like your boobs get really sore?
Correct. Correct.
So those are very normal.
In some instances, even I have to completely admit that it's completely normal to feel more sexually inclined. Your
It's
hormones.
hormonal changes.
Correct.
What you feel and what your friend feel will be completely different as well. So
Correct.
each person experiences different like symptoms and reacts differently from one another.
Correct. How does it feel to wear a tampon or a diva cup? To answer that question, I first have to ask, do you wear tampon?
The first time I wore a tampon was actually for my wedding shoot because I didn't have a choice. I was wearing a rented gown.
Okay.
And that was the first day of my period, which for me it's like leaning to the side.
Wait,
of,
so that's quite recent?
yeah.
No.
Yeah, leaning to the side of like a heavier flow. So I'm one of those people who can say that the first time I wore a tampon was at the age of 28, which is this year.
I would just like to also say that I started wearing tampons quite late. I think I only started wearing maybe like 3 years ago, which is around when I was 23, 22. I actually struggled with putting it in because it's
I've
just
heard this
very
story.
confusing.
This is why I'm like chuckling.
It's very confusing, right? Like you're like, where does it go? So just to put it out there once and for all, just so you all know how close my friendship with Debbie is, Debbie helped put in my first tampon.
That's true friendship right there. It actually feels like
Better.
nothing.
Yes.
It feels very comfortable. So if you actually try on a tampon and you feel like a little bit of a pinch or an ache, it means you're not inserting it correctly.
Right.
Yeah, so you might want to remove it and try again.
So I typically prefer the tampons that come with the applicators, even
Yes.
though like they're plastic, they're like wasteful. I choose tampons because it doesn't smell. Because like with pad, technically it's like
It's
a
sitting
diaper.
there.
Okay, so we have never worn diva cups, at least for me. Have you?
I haven't either.
I think it's something that I would like to slowly transition to because obviously it's the more environmentally friendly choice.
option, yeah.
As of now, I'm nowhere near it because it takes a bit of a practice to get there.
And I'm still at the stage where I'm still trying to figure out how to use a tampon as well.
So slowly but surely,
Yeah.
how do you let your guys/boyfriends know that you are on your period?
just tell them.
Nothing to be ashamed about,
Yeah.
Like I said, every woman goes through this cycle, and if they want to date a woman, then they kind of know. They kind of have to know
Yeah,
what
they
they're
have
dealing
to
with.
accept it as
Like,
well.
what are you expecting me to do? Stop my body from producing blood for you? Who the hell do you think you are? Okay, sorry, a bit too passionate here. So if you're ever like, worried about telling your boyfriend or your guy friend that you're on your period, like, it's
Don't
fine. You can also like tell them, oh, my period's coming up. Like
Yeah.
ask them nicely, like, can you just be nicer to me for the next few days? I'm gonna bleed, I'm in a lot of
pain.
Yeah. I think if you do it nicely, no one's gonna fault you for it.
Correct. Videos like these are very important for men, and the more you tell them about it, and the more they understand you, then the easier it is for them to like adapt to, okay, she's having a period, I have to do this. Maybe make her feel more comfortable, maybe get her a hot water water bottle or something like this. How to prevent pet rash? Well, pet rash normally comes when your skin is a little bit sensitive to like certain materials, right? So it can come from, you know, your pet being of not such a great material. If you use something like really, really cheap, maybe opt for something that's more organic. It can also come from if you're wearing a pad for way too long. 4 hours is a good time to change, maximum. And if it's still occurring, it's also good to seek like specialists.
Okay, this is not really relevant to periods, but okay. It's about like my intimate part. So I recently started doing this thing called sugaring. Ever since then, I've been like applying oils on my intimate areas because the person told me, right, like typically when you sugar, like your skin will like kind of be like dry, so you put oils there to, you know, kind of nourish the area. Like I used to never understand like why we had to like moisturize that area. I mean, it's not like my face, right? But then slowly I understood like we should give the same amount of love to our under areas, so maybe it'll help prevent pet rash.
What do you do if you get your period in public? Which is a very good question because that definitely does happen.
I think typically when you get your period in public, you're not the one that finds out about it. It's usually in the case where someone comes up to you and points it out. And honestly, I have had that happen to me. I used to react in a very like embarrassed and ashamed manner, like, oh no, I had my period, shit. But then after I grew up, I was like, why am I embarrassed for something that my body does? You know, naturally. It's not like I can't control it. So if right now people come up to me and say like, hey, I think you stained your pants or your skirt or whatever I'm wearing, I'll just be like, okay, thanks for pointing it out. And then classily and elegantly walk your way to the toilet and get yourself cleaned up and changed.
Correct. Have you ever missed a period?
I think it's completely fine to miss your period occasionally because sometimes stress adds up, or very bad sleeping habits or very poor diet. These are actually factors that
the same thing. Okay.
Intuition. It's okay to miss like 1 month or like 1 cycle, but like if it's like anything longer than that, then go get yourself checked. Either through like a pregnancy test kit or like through a gynae.
If you're on like birth control for like your acne, for example, it happens to a lot of people because of the hormones and stuff. There is a very high likelihood that you will miss your period once in a while as well because it sort of irregulates your menstrual cycle a little bit. Yeah.
Sleeping hacks when you're on your period.
I sleep really, really straight because I'm so afraid of the pad leaking. You know the nighttime 36 cm ones?
Yes.
Everybody has that.
Yes.
Okay, so I wear those.
It's like a diaper at this point.
It's like a diaper. Then I'll just sleep like that and pray hard that I don't move so that the blood doesn't shift.
My problem with sleeping when I'm on my period is typically like waking up from cramps or just not being able to sleep in general because like the cramps can sometimes be a bit overwhelming. Definitely consider buying the pink Panadol, the menstrual Panadol.
Basically.
Yes. Treat yourself a little better, you know, especially because when we're on our periods, we tend to be a little bit more emotional at night. You know, I know you know what I mean, okay? Sometimes you get sad for freaking no reason. It happens, I get you. So, you know, if you're feeling in a little bit of a mood, then maybe put on some nice music, put on a scented candle, treat yourself nice, you know, give yourself some love, and yeah, let yourself sleep better even though you're bleeding.
Yeah, actually hot showers also work really, really well.
Just love yourself, baby girls. How do you manage your PMS?
For me, one of my premenstrual symptoms is fatigue. I get ultra tired. So what you really want to do is rest your damn body, okay? Just go to bed.
And on the emotional aspect, I think it's really just communicating your needs to your partner so that they are better able to understand you and, you know, provide you with the love and concern you need when you're on your period.
It says, I'm 22 and I haven't gotten my period. Am I infertile? Okay, if you're 22 and you haven't gotten a period, that's a little bit of a concern from like a very layman perspective or a very general perspective. What I would suggest is to see a gynecologist to maybe take some tests to find out the root problem behind not having your period, because there can be a lot of reasons that cannot be identified or detected based on just how you look or how you feel as well.
Correct, yeah. Typically, I think women will start to have their periods around, the latest will be around 16 to 18. I think 18 is already quite late, 16 even. So if you're the viewer that sent in this question and you're watching this, I hope all is well with you.
So maybe Jess, you can share about when your period started.
My period started at a very, very tender young age of 9 years old. I was 9. It was traumatic because the first period I had was when I was in a hotel wedding and someone pointed it out. It was my first time peeing blood and I was freaking out in the toilet.
Yeah, for me, right, it was when I was 12 and I was taking a nap. Thankfully, I was home and I woke up to pee and then I was like, why am my underwear dirty? For 2 seconds, I literally thought that I pooped my pants in my sleep. Like, I was 12, what do you expect, right?
Let us know in the comments your period stories. I think it'll be very funny to read them.
Yeah. What workouts can I do when I get my period? The answer is
don't work out.
any workout. Any workout is fine.
Love yourself, just go and sleep. I'm just kidding.
No, but
Take it from
definitely, if you are feeling overly fatigued,
Yes.
like how we mentioned just now, you're super tired. I have days when I have my periods and I just don't feel like working out. I just feel like lying down and not even walking. But if you do feel like working out, you know, any kind of workout is good. I personally like to do a lot of more core when I have my periods because it helps with the cramps, because it squeezes it, so it moves your abdominal area and you feel a lot more comfortable if you do.
And I do hear that it's true that working out does help to alleviate cramps as well. Is it true that the older you are, the more painful your period is going to be?
I heard that after a person gives birth, their cramps are way less.
Logically, that would make kind of a bit of sense, right?
Because you've gone through labor, that's like the most
like what
pain
can
that you
be
go through.
worse
What can be worse?
than labor cramps?
Period cramps, whatever. I'm still at a point of time where my cramps can get really bad. So I don't think I can say yes, definitely, but I think it's each person, their own case kind of situation.
I do have more cramps as compared to the past, and that's why I think I mentioned this before, I think either on the podcast or something, that I do consume EPO, evening primrose oil. So it's supposed to help women in terms of like, you know, easing your period cramps. It's just supposed to help with overall women's health, and that's what I do.
Does painkillers for period cramps lead to side effects? I would say that every single drug in the world will have a list of side effects that comes along with it, be it severe or, you know, mild. Simple things like paracetamol, if you take too much of it, you're definitely going to
Overdose.
Yeah, overdose in a certain way. What I would recommend is to make sure you just stick with the indicated dose. Don't go overboard with it. I know sometimes it's very tempting to take many painkillers over a short period of time, but please do not do that.
Are you able to have sex during your period? Yes. Your partner says no, dump him. Treat yourself. What do you think of period sex?
I don't really know. I feel like it's a mess.
You should do it. Do it, Amanda. But I would like to caveat this by saying, like, just because I'm saying do it, I don't mean like letting your partner ejaculate into you just because you're on your period. Okay, let's put it out there once and for all that just because you're on your period and you engage in period sex does not mean that you are 100% safe from pregnancy. Okay, you are still able to get pregnant because essentially sometimes I think your egg is still there and you know the sperm can still travel up.
Yeah, during the earlier
Yes,
stages.
your blood is not
A
all that-
shield.
Yes, it's
It
not
doesn't shield you from pregnancy.
Yes.
It doesn't shield you from STDs as well. So make sure you guys stay safe.
But yes, that's it for all your questions regarding periods. It was really fun answering them, and I hope that we actually shared some interesting stories as well as some insights with you guys, and we hope this video has been useful.
Yes, so regardless of whether you're a guy or a girl watching this video, if you're a dude, help your female friends out, and if you're a lady, love yourself and help your friends out as well, because we want to make sure we create a positive space even for something so simple and so common like your period.
Correct.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and let us know in the comment section what other videos you'd like to see. And in the meantime, don't forget to click here to subscribe, click here to watch our latest video, and we'll see you next time. Bye!